Hey there, I'm Harrone.
I'm Chantell.
And we are the Guthries.
Welcome to Chit Chat with the Guthries.
We're a Sunday Adventist pastoral couple.
Bringing you real conversations about anything and everything.
From religion and family life.
To lifestyle and whatever else comes up. Stay tuned for insightful chats that will inspire and uplift. Hang out with us and join the chat fam.
Because here, every conversation matters. Let's chat.
Hello.
Greetings,
Everyone. And welcome to another episode of Chit Chat with the Guthries. Boom, 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 boom.
OGs get it. Anyways, two of your favorite people back in your YouTube space.
Yeah.
As it should be.
As it should be. But guess what? Today, this episode, not today, is the final episode of season 3. Can you believe it? We're down 3 seasons. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling the summer heat. It's the summer is hot.
Yeah, it's showing.
What's showing? The summer heat or hot me? Listen, no talking, no comments. Whatever.
Yeah, man, husbands represent. You know how it goes.
All right, one word to describe season 3 for you.
Wow.
Let's say one word. That's not a descriptive word. Wow is a descriptive. Wow. Okay. I guess. Wow.
What is your one word to describe me? If you fixate on my word. At least I have a word.
My one word has been eye-opening. Eye-opening is not a descriptive word. If you use wow, I can use eye-opening. So let it go. Let it go. Let it
Husbands
go.
represent. You didn't do this kind of conversation already, so you
just let it go. All right, let me get into it because this is gonna be a short and spicy episode. Do you agree over there? Oh Lord. Okay, let's do a recap of season 3. We spoke about prophecy. We spoke about relationship. We spoke
about recap. It can't be short and spicy.
We know just like in general about what we spoke about. Not like to go into general. We spoke about relationship. We spoke about prophecy. We spoke about the church. We spoke about general life things. Yeah, I think season 3 was well rounded. Should have gotten an award. Most congenial.
No.
It's festival time.
JCDC. Oh boy. Yeah.
Ah, Lordy.
Yeah. For those of us in the church, it's GC time.
What?
GC time.
You know what? Let's just go back to what we're talking
about. That's our Olympics. That's our World Cup. So, and the way how some people behave. What? Wow. Yeah. What we talking about it? Let's stay on that.
Yeah, let's stay on this topic. Let's stay on this topic, please.
Before somebody mouth about church politics,
please,
get them in our meeting.
Please. Given that we have our youth ministries church, right? I want to start from like youth ministries, where we always say, in all the world, in my the Advent message to all the world in my generation, right?
That's right.
And then we always say that, when it is that the Advent message has reached to, give me the word terminology you want to always use. The Adventist Bible, man. You know the Adventist Bible?
Have the Adventist Bible.
Oh my Lord, Harrone, you know what I'm talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know what?
Do you know what you're talking about?
Forget it. Anyways, my real question is...
No. You have to give a setup. You cannot just drop a question.
I can't remember what the statement is. Anyway, so the Advent message to all the world in my generation. So is it that all the previous generations, they weren't doing anything? Like, what?
Somebody might say they do more than we. No, we don't know nothing.
You're right. But then what does it mean? Because like them always say must witness to your neighbor. So if I must witness to my neighbor, how must witness to?
That's the 3 words.
To the generation.
Finish the work.
Yeah, but finishing the work.
A whole seminar keep with fly down people from overseas. Or come and tell about finish the work.
Yeah, but
not in the regular church lines, they kind of seminar. They're like, one side they fly from a preacher that can't preach in the church, kind of thing, and that will finish the work.
Yeah, but what does it? When it's a finish the work, what does that entail?
What about things?
Like what? Like what?
Expose the man of sin.
Expose the man. No, when it comes on to like the second coming, that's what it means. Huh? What?
Well, I'm telling you what.
Harrone, I want you to answer the question and not tell me what other people are saying. Don't perplex me in that episode. Sure.
The Advent message to all the world in my generation.
The Advent message to all the world in my right.
I mean, the big question
and
is,
then it said, then shall the end come.
Well, that's Matthew 24:14. Jesus said, this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness.
Right.
And then shall the end come.
So that's why, right. So that is my setup. Is it that the end can come because we are failed as a generation?
Well, if you're a dispensationalist, when Israel attacked Iran last week, you thought it was the end of the world. World War III would be dropping. And then when the Orange Man sent over the B-52 bomber them, that was really the end of the world. That's what, that's what you thought in a dispensationalist, because, that was your prophetic movement. However, we're still here. The world hasn't ended yet. So.
You know, answer my question.
So, Jesus said the gospel of the kingdom in all the world.
Right.
So did Jesus mean all the inhabited world? Did Jesus mean every square inch of the planet? Did Jesus mean that the gospel now reach everybody until the social media invent? And we have satellite TV and internet and social media, because some people preach. Some people preach is like that the gospel can reach nowhere until we put it on social media.
So technically, it's not like the previous generation failed. It's just that they did what they could within the sphere of resources that was available to them.
Maybe.
Answer my question though.
Maybe. I mean,
what the Bible say?
No, fundamentally, can the gospel go to all the world?
Why not?
Yeah, why should
what do you mean? Then if the Advent message come to Jamaica on printed sheet by, I don't even know if it was what they call it now. I don't think the paper did directly leave its destination and knows it come to Jamaica. You understand what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a sketched approach to saturate as many ports as possible.
If it can get here in that way, why can't reach?
Yeah, but wasn't Christianity in Jamaica before that paper come?
So is it Christianity that we want, or is it Adventism?
Listen. The question is so layered because me want start from ground zero.
And me want start
should it go to all the world?
What do you mean by should it? Why shouldn't it?
Yeah, why should the gospel go to all the world?
What do you mean? Why shouldn't everybody be exposed to Jesus and His love and His grace and His mercy and just how why shouldn't it?
That's right, because Jesus is better than Buddha. And Muhammad a fraud, and Jesus is the real deal. So that's what that's what you need to know. And atheism is nothing because Jesus is superior. And paganism is nothing because Jesus is superior. So that's why Jesus is superior. All right, good. That question answer. Excellent. Wonderful.
Next.
Yeah, next now.
But then how do we
What is the world?
Listen. Yeah. You are my world.
It's funny because if you ask the producer, why world?
Me. I think he would say me though, but well, I'm gonna tell you. Sometimes
what is the
his world is upside down, and another time it's level. Then when you throw in one space, it's level. When you only have one parent, he kind of topsy-turvy. All right, he's not dead, but he's not optimized. Not optimized. Anyways, get back to what we're doing now. We're not gonna make
So
the world.
Yeah, what is the world? I mean, if you read the book of Colossians, Paul going to tell us and preach the gospel to every creature.
But I guess it was preacher in front of him.
Nah, good.
Well, I'm sure Jermaine can do the same preacher to every creature like a while.
To watch.
Who never watched that?
Now who here?
Who never hear?
Good question.
Colossians, preach it to every creature.
Yeah, man. If you read Colossians 1, Colossians 1, Paul is going to let you know that the gospel was manifested to all the world.
And was that a futuristic statement, or is it that
no man. He's talking
right now?
No, he's talking.
This has happened
at the time when Paul is writing the letter of Colossians. Paul, on the inspiration of the Spirit, because some people out there think that Paul never inspired, and sometimes Paul writing his own thing, and then anyways, I get into that. Paul, right? Yeah. Paul said him preach the gospel to every creature.
Okay.
Paul said him preach the gospel to every creature. So once again, as I say, is it an absolute statement as everybody that was living on planet Earth? Because we're at the time when the New Testament is being written, Christianity is confined by and large
to an era.
To an area around the Mediterranean Sea, which means that the Sahara Desert was like a natural barrier.
Colossians.
Right. So 1st century AD. So it never reached down. It never penetrate down into West Africa, much less Central Africa, Southern Africa. Never reached South America.
Never reached them places.
Right. Never reached North America.
So how am I saying
in the depths of Asia? So that's why we can approach this question and just make assumptions and run off with it, right? Because we really have to ask, right?
Where is my world?
Yeah.
So where is my world then? Like on a serious basis, like
our sphere of influence, the circles and the settings that we move in. So because think about it from the granular stage, right? If on the macro, me claim say I'm going to preach the gospel to all the world, admit message to all the world, the gospel to all the world, right? And my sphere of influence, me not show it. My sphere of influence, I miss a spot.
Yeah.
So in order for you to go to the whole world in the macro, you have to go into my worlds in the micro. Right?
And then I guess when you give it to your space, a domino effect.
Me do to my space, you do to your space. And then remember say my your space overlap with my space. So my your space overlap with somebody else's space.
Right.
But so if we are all doing it, then yeah.
So what we're called, what it is that we should be doing then is that everybody should be doing something. So it's not a situation that so technically then, Harrone, if it is that we're not doing something, then we're slow Jesus' return, or nobody has influence over his return or not.
And they know, all right. So then they know that Christian over a whole other kind of worms. Because there's some people who believe, God is like ultra deterministic, and God set down
the time
when the time of the second advent. And we get up and we love preach, ready or not.
Whether you're ready or not.
Never say sing.
My Jesus is coming.
Never say sing. Right?
Whether you're ready or not.
You put in the shoulder and the head rocking, and kind of say this is not complete without their body movement.
Whether you're ready or not. Ready or not.
Yeah. Right? So we have it that. So we give the idea, say, it's because some people believe, they give the idea, it's set down. And no matter what, it don't
That's when it's gonna happen.
It don't happen.
2025.
Right? So
I'm not date setting. Just
but at 2027 the date will circulate still.
2027? We have
just,
plans for 2027, so.
Hello? Just let you know.
Where you get that from?
No, not get it.
Where you get that date from?
Tell me. I know me get it. The other people are circulate it, but not getting it.
But Harrone, you would have to get, as in I never say you come up with the data. So where do you get the information?
All right, back to the thing. Some people believe, and the people who talk about 2027, them have different reasoning, but ultimately they're in this camp that it is fixed, and at the a certain point, the Lord is going to trigger the events, and they don't cascade and they don't happen.
But then if all of that could have happened.
Then there are others now. Sure. Then there are others who think this was second coming.
I'm not have patience for it.
Are there others who think the second coming thing is just an idealistic statement with spiritual meaning?
Wow.
The second coming is going to be realized in the advancement of the church, or the church spread all over the world, and so on and so forth. You know, so what have to kill yourself about, you know? Church is gonna, you know, they usually, you know, those it's right in Catholicism and those who believe in like post-millennialism, right, is there. And then there are others now who kind of like tip the scale and give the idea that human beings can control when the second advent happens.
Okay.
That based on the responsiveness and the readiness of human beings. I think
So
the reality.
how we slow down or fast up climate change?
Yeah, but to the point where is that God is taken out of the driver's seat and human beings are put in the driver's seat ultimately.
Okay.
So it is when humanity is, you know, is ready and proven itself ready, and if humanity keep on walking in circles and whatever indefinitely, then they go and delay, right? But if humanity gets so you have the two wings, right? But the reality is that it's
up to
I don't want to say it's a mixture of both. But the Lord is definitely sovereign of the big picture events.
Correct.
Right? And our choices in the micro interact with his macro. With his macro plans.
Okay,
all right?
Economist.
To how that actually intersect in a more detailed way is outside the scope of this episode. So, but I'm just gonna state it like it's like the teeth of gears. They do interact. All right, they do interact, and we see that throughout salvation history. As we say, if we get into nitty gritty, that's outside the scope of this.
So, what about the people around who feel as though, you know, Jesus soon come, World War III soon come, so don't buy nothing, don't have no bikini, you know, just sit and wait,
Maybe they're justified in their views. Who knows?
How can they be justified in their
Maybe they're justified in their views.
But the Lord said, occupy until I come. So what occupy mean? Just sit down and look up so?
No, your version occupied different from the version occupied. For the version occupied mean the gospel to all the world in my generation. So they're going to sacrifice all of that to bring the message to everybody.
But is something wrong with that though?
So they're being occupied. I mean, if the Lord not call you to it, then you're going to take up it. You know, you put problem upon yourself. But anyways, yeah. So
how you know?
No. Your walk with the Lord must be of such a level that when the Lord gives you instruction,
you know,
like Samuel, you're hearing voice.
Here
all right, because of Samuel in call, not Eli. All right.
Send me.
So you know.
Here
But watch this now. Here's this verse. I love the verse here. 2 Peter 3:12.
More than me.
Right. Looking for and hastening the coming of the day of God. Looking for and hastening the coming of the day of God. The King James will use the old version of the word that's hasting. Right? Hastening the coming of, and yes, when you go in the original language, the word means what it sounds like it means. The original language word means to hurry up or impel. Right? So Peter under inspiration is teaching. Peter under inspiration, especially when you connect this with verse 11, where he says, "Seeing in all these things, what manner of persons ought you to be in all holy conduct and godliness." So our life is a response to the signs of the times and the certainty of the end. And the signs of the times and certainty of the end, with our life responding, Peter in verse 12 says, it is hastening the coming of the day of God. Now the converse must be true. And this is the uncomfortable part now of when you are, when you're reading the Bible, and the Bible open things that shock and surprise us. The converse is also true. That when our lives are not responding in holiness towards the signs of the times. What is the opposite of hastening, friend?
Slow.
Okay.
Sluggish.
Okay. And then, my favorite auntie come in and just get herself in a whole heap of trouble by writing, by writing the building of the kingdom of God. The building of the kingdom of God is retarded or urged forward according to the faithfulness or fidelity of human agency. The work is hindered by the failure of the human to cooperate with the divine. Men may pray that thy kingdom come.
Of the human what?
The work is hindered by the failure of the human to cooperate with the divine.
So she's going to just say people. Why should she say the human?
Men may pray because you said the divine, you know. So
Okay.
Subject verb agreement, floral language. Men may pray, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. But if they fail of acting out the spur in their lives, their petitions will be fruitless.
Which means that technically we have a part to play to hasten the second coming.
Yeah, remember I told that
there is a connection.
That the things interact.
That there is a connection.
No. If I might unto it, just get up and write this, could I just run away? But there's a Bible verse that says hastening. Right? And as we say,
the one we just read from.
And as we say, the converse is true. If you can hasten
it, you're slowing something down. So, like, tell me 3 things then that you can be doing to hasten, his second coming. Like we've always said it here from we started until
your
now.
Purpose in the Lord.
Maximize your purpose in the
Lord.
Lord.
Which is not limited to the corporate world or civil service for you to move up from entry-level staff to permanent secretary.
You want to be a corporate girl.
Right? So it's not maximize. Too often Christians here maximize the potential and I think about but they don't advance in the work world, but they don't increase the material things. No, sometimes maximize the potential. Have
some missionary work.
Have a greater meaning to be a missionary. And no, I don't mean to be a missionary. Go and take yourself up, gone to some destitute part of Africa or gone up in Asia. That's not the only place. There are still places right in here Jamaica. Right?
Right here.
Where Christianity don't penetrate, much less Adventism. All right?
Are
so
we
right
like a
here.
specific place is coming in, where food from usually go. For sure.
Yeah?
Which means then, Harrone, that sometimes when
the gospel to all your world, your world our world is nearer.
So our world is our circle of influence. All my PCMers come out.
Yeah,
that was the theme for
so we have to maximize it, right? We have to maximize it, and then we have to understand. Hold on, we can't come up with that. We have to understand what the gospel is. If you're going to be the gospel to all the world, and yes, for those coming at us, the Advent message is the gospel. All right, Revelation 14:6 and 7 straight.
Yeah.
Right. So we have to understand what the gospel is. Right. What's the gospel? Is the gospel the caricature thing? What they out there where all we are here about is just
love,
forgiveness of sins,
love,
and don't judge and
grace,
and this
mercy.
No, it's more than that. So we have to know what the gospel is, because if we don't know what the gospel is, then we don't know what is to be carried to all the world.
And let me tell you something. From what the gospel is, Harrone, what the gospel can do for us.
Right.
Because a lot of times we are exposed to the gospel, we understand what the gospel is, but we're not allowing for the gospel to work through us.
Which leads me to the next point. If your gospel is something that can only be preached, it is not a gospel.
Should be living, evangelizing.
Right? If because the gospel of a number, it must be preached. It must be demonstrated.
Right? And for me, I would say it should be demonstrated then preached. But
whichever way you want to put it, you folks who born in the church love to argue about that order, and really actually don't matter. It doesn't matter. It don't matter which one comes first. Whether they preach a demonstration. It is a privilege. No, here aren't enough now. Here aren't enough. Right? Here aren't enough now.
Aren't enough, come out.
It is a privilege of every Christian not only to look for, but to hasten the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ. That's on Christ Subject Lessons. Good book. Go and go read it. Right? So it's a privilege to hasten. And according to 2 Peter 3, you can read the rest, 11 and 12. This hastening is the response. Is the response of holy living in light of the end times. Right? So you have to maximize the purpose in the Lord, which does involve being a missionary.
And she continues to say, we're all who profess his name, bearing fruit to his glory.
Look at that.
How quickly the whole world would be shown with the seed of the gospel. Quickly, the last great harvest would be ripened, and Christ would come to gather his precious gains.
Those grains.
Grains. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She said it, not me. Right?
So
But mango.
So we can
listen,
hasten
mango,
and we can delay.
Mango can
Just
represent.
know which one you want to do.
So all right. So hold on now. So previous generations, and this is where Adventists do the navel gazing. Right? So we just think about ourselves and we bother with nobody else now. So previous generation, what is it that they were called to do? Right? Why did the Adventist Church emerge when it did? Why did it emerge with this particular understanding? Right? Is it just for walk around and just make one new church and keep it on the wrong day? Huh? Was because everybody, a lot of people convinced they keep church on the wrong day. Right? Because them keep the church on their first day, and we go on it.
Well, technically, they not really keep it on first day still. They might keep it on first morning.
What was the point?
First day morning.
Wow. Shots fired. So, what was the point? What were they asked to do? And
did they
were
fulfill?
They asked? They not fulfill it. They not fulfill it.
What were they asked to do?
Good. And what they were asked to do, are we asked to do the same thing? So we have answered the question.
So aren't we building on what they did? Aren't we supposed to be building on what?
We're not building. We're not building on it.
I said supposed to. Are we supposed to be building on it? Or are we supposed to do it on
We are supposed to.
Building up
we are
the temple.
You see where they stop, and this is where now.
So how are we gonna know where they top and we didn't with our life?
You see, that's why they write down things and study Adventist history. And this is now where my present truth Adventist friends
gonna come for you.
Look out for the video and go wherever they stop, because they didn't do everything. We are to understand where they stop and go beyond.
That.
Right. So, for example,
sometimes feel like we start over.
Start over so bad. For example, they struggled with the understanding of the true biblical teaching of the Godhead, right? Which most of us call Trinity, right? And if that word that trigger you, like, get over the word, get over it.
The Godhead.
Investigative judgment in the Bible and in the trouble you. Trinity in the Bible, why trouble you? Like
the Godhead.
Yeah. So, Godhead is an artificial word, because the Holy Presidential Adventist believes it's a natural word.
Yeah, but
artificial word.
But anyways, also not trigger them. So.
But anyways, so they struggled, and it took them 30, 40 years to come to an understanding that, and even that understanding, we have climbed their shoulders and look higher, right? So nothing wrong with that. What they taught about investigative judgment, they had the core right, but there were still so many typologies that they never unfold. We are to do that, right? So if the Advent message to all the world means for us to sit down and retread and retrace what the pioneers do and only stop where they stop. We are like a car with the engine on and the gear selector in neutral. Hold it nice, but we're not going nowhere. There is no. We are not called to just stay where they put it. So we have to understand what they were called to. They were called to do a lot of foundation laying. Right? They were called to do a lot of foundation laying. We are not called to dismantle those foundations.
We're called to be lion.
If they are giants, we are called to step on the shoulders of giants and reach higher and look beyond. See what they couldn't see, do what they desired to do and could not do. The Advent message to all the world in my generation. And the reason that generations fail is not because generations are wicked. The condition, you just get the condition. You have to look in a one generation. You have to be done in a generation. Right? You have to do it in one generation. So if you do it in one generation, it will pass on to. So
let me ask a question. Should
another.
we
I know some people not going to agree with the concept, but this is not something for us to argue about. It's
We're supposed to be doing something, but in our doing, should we be, like watching the final events and saying, okay, this should be happening, that should be happening, so I should be doing way more based on what is happening, or we shouldn't allow that to motivate us? What should be our motivating factor?
There should be a healthy
correlation.
Yeah, there should be a healthy relationship between. All right, I go back to 2 Peter 3:11 and 12. Verse 11, Peter state there, because Peter spent the first 10 verses of chapter 3 outlining the certainty of the end times and of the destruction and recreation of the earth. Right?
Okay.
So Peter spent
Stick up in.
that established.
Let us know if you're at this point in this video, and tell us right now in the comments, what's your view? Do you think the generation before us is slowing down, or did they hasten? And do you think we're failing? Resume.
Yeah. So Peter spent 10 verses establishing that reality. And in verse 11, this is real. It is happening and going to happen. What are you to do? Right? Are you living a holy life? Or you are just,
topsy-turvy.
Right? So according to 1 Peter 3:11, we respond to the reality of the end times by holy living.
Okay. Right? So you respond.
So that means that you
Advent message to all
you have
the
to know
world
the end
in my
times.
generation.
You have to know the end times. You have to know the signs. Friends, Israel bombing up the Iranian nuclear sites, and no signs that. Straight, and no signs. Trump sending B-52 Obama and Lego the MOPs and them nuclear base in the mountain. It's not a sign.
It's not a
Those
sign.
are no determining signs. Because
determining sign is different from a sign.
I'm not saying that. If you read Matthew 24, Jesus said you hear war. It's the only part Adventists read. You hear wars and rumors of wars and distress and da. But the part where Jesus said, all these are the King James said beginning of sorrows, but the original language is the start of birth pains.
But the end.
And then Jesus said, one chapter say, but the end is not by and by. I want to say the end is not yet. What I tell you, none of these signs when bring the end. They are not the trigger for the end. So when we are running like headless chicken over it,
you have
we are missing
you
the
have
point.
signs of the times, and you have end of times, or signs of the end, right? So wouldn't that be
wars and rumors of wars they are background noise.
So they're distracting
always
us.
Be there.
They're distracting us.
We allow them to distract us because we don't understand that they are background noise.
Okay.
The real sign.
So when you sing altar call and you sing softly with him, you're distracted. Babe, my mind is a very practical mind, and that's exactly what my mind comes to be. Probably sometimes somebody altar call them a distracting for them to draw. You don't think so? You don't answer. I'm going to go back to where
I'm going to go back to where
sorry for this sideline.
Yeah. So we need to know the end times. We need to know what is happening.
Probably in season 4 we can do an episode on
but just stay there, so
what to look for. I think we need something on signs already.
Yeah, but just running down signs and in something there, you can become so imbalanced in it. You can become so imbalanced in it. All I'm saying, just follow 2 Peter 3, 10, 11, and 12, right? You see the reality of the end times. What kind of life you live, and the life
holy life,
and the life that is being lived, is it hastening,
or is it slowing down,
or delaying?
That's right? The question to end the episode on. The life that you're living.
Once you have that now,
what is it
once
doing?
you have that now,
you'll
have a proper appreciation for events and their order.
Right? So the life that you're living, is it hastening, or is it delaying? A nice way to end the season. Have any final thoughts?
See you on season 4.
That's all. That's the final thought. No, thank you for joining us in season 3. If it is that you're here and you have not yet liked, commented, or subscribed, what are you waiting for? Do it right now. What? I went into Matthias mode. What are you waiting for? All right, guys, this is it. We are signing out on season 3. So live the life to hasten the coming of Jesus. Deuces. See you in season. 4.